we have Margret Watson, who is the Veterans Career Advisor at the Texas Veterans Commission. And she's going to present on how to do your resume and research companies beforehand. So I will hand it over to you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Margret Watson, and as Amanda stated, I am a veteran career advisor out of the Central Texas area. I am also a woman veteran. I served our country 20 years. I hold 2 MOSs, CBRN and missile repair. I am a dual military veteran. My husband served for 24 years, so I'm a military spouse also. I have to say it's easier to stay than go. It's much easier to go and have everybody tell you what to do than to stay home and figure it out for yourself. So what today I'm going to instruct you and guide you and hopefully provide some resources for you on researching companies and adapting your resume. What we have found throughout the pandemic and even everyday life prior to the pandemic and going virtually is veterans aren't tailoring their resume or adapting it to what the companies want. We're seeing a lot of just master resume. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here with you. Okay, so researching companies and adapting your resume. Let me get me off of here. Okay, so researching your companies and adapting your resume. As I said, my name is Margret Watson, Veteran Career Advisor, Central Texas District. So go back, refresh our house rules. We are recording this. Please write your questions in the chat box. My TVC powerhouses are going to answer them as we go. If you have questions, please just unmute. You have been muted and turned off. I did prepare an email with the presentation, any PDFs, example resumes, a wealth of information that I've collected over the last 6 years is going to be sent to you in a follow-up email. I have example resumes. I have a lot of tools that are going to be sent to you. So be ready for that. Here's some discussion points that we're going to go over. Researching companies, where do you get those sources? How do you network? The resume is a very large portion of this. How do you prepare? What are some best practices? You have an MOS. How do you convert it? There's ONET out there. We're going to talk a little bit about SAR statements. Adapting the resume. Where do you do that? There's some websites. I'm going to give you some application tips and employment services that are out there for you. So researching the companies. So where do you research these companies? So LinkedIn is a great resource for that. Going on LinkedIn, finding out about the companies. And when you find the companies, you're going to see a lot of people that are in the company. You'll be able to network with that person, the HR, the logistics manager. Go to the company's website. That is where they've put their mission statement. Go to that website, learn it. You're going to be able to see if they're a good fit for you. Now you're interviewing that company as that. Just think about that. Going back to what Chastity had said and Gina had said, be comfortable, put your feet down, ground yourself. You set the pace for that. You are looking at the company. You didn't join the military because you wanted to wear green. You didn't join the Air Force because you like the color blue. You saw something in that branch of service. It was maybe because your parents, your mother or father was in that branch of service. Are you a legacy? So you're picking a company based off of something, their benefit. So you're looking at the website. Another way is in person. You can get out and drive around your car very safely during the pandemic and see that. It might be the location, a word of mouth. This is a really great company. You have veteran career advisors and veteran employment liaisons like Chastity. You have the Texas Veteran Leadership Program like Gina. You have all of us to listen to, that word of mouth. You have these job fairs. Some of them are coming in person right now, very slowly, but virtually meeting that recruiter or that HR staff. Is that something that you want to do? Think about it. Researching these companies is very, very important. Now, how do you network properly? It's not the good old boy system anymore. Sometimes it's what you know. It's not sometimes what you know. It's who you know. So how do you get to know those people? There is a thing called speed networking. Essentially, it's fast-paced Q&A. I speak fast. So in your mind, count around. So you're around a table, or we're not around the table. Just go around the room, and virtually, if you're not around the room, just go around and think of, okay, what is your job title? Ask them, what part of that job brings you happiness? Is this the first time that you've been in the area? What types of people do you want to network with? We are all veteran based, so that's a commonality that we have. What is the number one network goal that they have? So what brings you together? You obviously, when you open up your LinkedIn, you have commonality within those people because you have that. You open up your other social media ways, you have digital networking. How do you network with that person? Put it on your social media. I'm looking for work. I bet you someone drops in there, hey, here's a job. Tell people, do it in person. Hey, I'm looking for work. Hey, I'm going to separate from the military in 2 years. The TAP program, Transition Assistance Program, gives transitioning service members 24 months. If you are separating other than retiring, you get 12 months to do that. Start talking about it now. If you're already a veteran and you have a career and you're looking to change your careers, not necessarily telling your company now, or you're looking for a promotion, you can say, hey, I'm getting a degree. I'm not going to stick around in here. What else can you do to get rid of, or to move into a different career field? Start talking about it. There are proper ways to get promotions without leaving a negative taste in your mouth around that. So digital networking, you want to go to LinkedIn. Don't expect to get a job. Research that company, participate in the group discussions, find the networking groups in your area. Think about it. Where can you find that? There's chambers of commerce. Right now is a class. I don't know anything about anyone in this room other than my coworkers. I don't know what you're looking to do. I haven't heard from a single person in this room. Speak up. Tell me what you're looking to do. Type in that chat. I am a HR professional. Research it. I bet you right now, if you tell me a little bit about yourself in that chat, Chastity's going to pop in there. Gina's going to pop in there. Miss Sharon's going to pop in there. And they're going to say, hey, you know what? We have a position right now in Temple that's closing tomorrow for a veteran employment liaison. We have that right now. I need to know about that. Network with a purpose. There's specific industry events. We call them employer showcases. Be professional. Look for connections, not a job offer. Have a network card. We can't do that right now. So what do you have in that? You have a signature block. Please don't put on there Captain Retired. There is nothing that we giggle more about in our profession. Put in there what you're looking to do. I want to see that you're an HR manager looking for this. You can put in there what you're looking to do. I see that the chat's popping up. That's what I want to see. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Put in there more information. Chastity says, come join our team. Tell me what you're looking to do. Have a networking card. Network now. That's what we do. We do employment services, aren't you? You're here to look for a job. Let's go into the resume. Where do you find the information? You got to prepare to write it. Your former job descriptions. your joint service transcript. Every veteran has a JST. Your supervisory reviews and your feedback. So we have junior enlisted in the room, junior officers. You may not have had your junior enlisted have DA 4856, your counseling statements. You may have not become an NCO or an officer. So you may not have that. Pull those out. You get positive reviews. So you have your NCOERs and your OERs. Pull those out. Some of them are helpful, some of them are not. Pull out your transcripts. The way you got your degree isn't necessarily the way I got my degree. So I have had individuals talk down about their degree. Don't ever talk down about your education. You have some college, wonderful. I need to see that on your college, on your resume. You have 10 semester hours, put that on there. That shows that you've done something. And minimum education is super important. If the job posting says bachelor's degree, put that high school education on there, okay? It might say minimum education is a high school diploma, but we're looking for a bachelor's degree. You put bachelor's degree, yes, you've met it, but you didn't meet the minimum qualifications. Now remember, some people are going to giggle and we're going to go back and forth on that. Human beings are not reading these, computers are. They're applicant tracking systems. So if it says you must have a high school diploma to meet the minimum requirements, you need to add that information. So please read over the job postings and then you'll be able to put the minimum requirements on there. Military honors. Now I'm speaking Army here. That's why I want to put the explanations on there. Your Department of Army DA 638s. These are award forms. For other branches of service, you have different forms. Award recognitions. In the narrative, pull that information out. Don't make me downgrade you. Okay? When I see a resume and someone says that they their resume is written very choppy, almost like Swiss cheese, and there's very big holes in it, and I almost downgrade their RCOM to a certificate of achievement. Don't make me downgrade it. And it's not that I'm saying that your resume is bad, it just needs work. Customer acknowledgments. These are attaboys. These are, they could be considered SAR statements if they're written properly. Comments. In the military, you may have gotten an ICE comment. Not all ICE comments are negative. These are interactive customer evaluations. That's what ICE stands for. So if a customer comes in and says, you know what, chastity is the best thing next to sliced bread, I want you to put that on there. And if I'm a baker and I figured out that chastity made sliced bread, that needs to be on there because that's very significant. That impacts the baking industry. Survey results, command climates, recommendation letters. All of that is so super important. You could do surveys within your own job now. How do I perform? One of my coworkers came back and said, Margaret, you're a great coworker, but you're a little harsh. Please don't put me on the spot. Oh my gosh, I appreciate that. And I'm going to take that. That's personal growth. The women in this room, they know exactly who said that. And I really appreciate that. And I'm going to use that. That makes me a better person. And I'm going to put that on my resume. And I'm not going to do that anymore. That makes you a better person every single day. Those small things add up and they make a huge difference. Preparing to write your resume. Again, think outside the box. Please don't ignore the leadership roles, your civic organizations. That shows that you're bigger and better than just your MOS. Volunteer experiences. It takes a lot to run volunteers. It's like herding kittens. They all want to go one way or a different. But what you do have is you have the mission or the nonprofit or the volunteer organization, and you come back every year no matter what, because you never give up. The different projects, fundraisers, professional and academic challenges or success. Again, go back to your education. If you made the National Honor Society and you add that on there, it's very important because all of those accolades that come with it, all the extracurricular activities that you added on to your degree are super important. Those extra hours are very important. the special assignments. Just because you had an MOS doesn't mean that Sergeant Major or the Colonel didn't come down and give you extra special assignments. Sit back and think about that. Where is your creative space? May it be the back porch as the sun goes down, or is it the morning coffee? Get away from that non-creative space that you can't, where your mental block is. Mine is actually in the shower. Science has proven that when you are in warm water, your brain, more blood flows to your brain, and that's when my aha moments happen. Travel experiences. We're very worldly people, and we get to go all over and work with very different cultures. Look at the room. Right now our cameras are off, but when the cameras come on, we're very diverse. Unfortunately, what happened to the Capitol is a horrible thing. I'm trying to think of happiness is a habit. One of my coworkers sent me a little card and I have it right here. It's very important that we, hunt the good stuff and we put that on our resumes. And that's what these employers are wanting. We are as good as we say we are. And there are some bad apples out there. And the rest of the world does not need to look at those few people. We are the good people, that veterans, and we are we are what the employers want. Think about those travel experiences and how we had to learn the cultures when we went to that country, the hearts and minds. Some best practices and some pitfalls. So some best practices, some separate paragraphs, you're targeting it, include accomplishment statements. So if you ever got an award sent to you that was very bland, it didn't have any action result, you're gonna downgrade it. Like I had stated earlier, it was an RCOM, but you made it a certificate of achievement. Don't make that employer downgrade you. You are the most qualified person for that job. Highlight those special projects. Again, make yourself stand out. Use plain language. Stay away from the fluff. If you read it and that's not how you talk, don't put it on there. Resume writing services are great. You pay for it. That's fine. But when you go into the interview and you have to explain what that person wrote on you, it's not going to work out. If you write it with your own words in a resource like Texas Veterans Commission, Dress for Success, TVLP, we can help you write it. It's going to come out in your own words. Now, if we use acronyms like I just did, Texas Veterans Commission, and not explain it, you're not going to know who that is. I always use this one, EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal. In Customs and Border, they use EOD as enter on duty. So if they kept saying when you EOD, that means when I explode. No. So make sure that you explain acronyms at least once so the reader can refer back to it. Best practices, if you could see separate paragraphs and bullets, it has become very nice to read it with bullets. Excuse me. Some pitfalls, text blocks with semicolons. We are not seeing that as much anymore. It's USA Jobs was doing that. They would text block word after word after word. If you do see a text block, start a new sentence. Generic task list. Just task list after task list after task list. Missing employment dates. I have that read because I have seen resumes that don't have any employment dates. They will put their entire military career, say 10, 15, or 20 years, and then they'll have that. Put your employment dates on there. If you're looking at your resume right now, please add your employment dates, at least month and year. If you're applying for federal employment, you better put the day or they're just going to knock you right out. Make sure there's no gaps in those employment. Too long, too short, explain acronyms. And it's not tailored. This is so super important. Resume steps. learning the different occupations, figuring out which one you want. Now notice these steps turn. So we're going to find out what kind of occupation. I'm going to take you to a cool website that can help you find that too, thanks to Miss Gina. Learning the occupation. Is that the occupation I want to do? And then you need to target your resume to that. Review and understand, can I do that job? Not just the money part. Can I drive to it? Can I sit in a chair for 8 hours at a time? Can I physically pick up? Can I unload that truck? Consider my qualifications. Now, is it a builder or is it Word format? Do I need to upload it in PDF, as Chastity said? I've been hearing more and more and more from employers. Upload it in PDF, upload it in PDF. So we're going to do Word format for right now. You write it, put it in the master resume, then you target it. It equals success. Bullseye, baby. Now, there's resume differences, okay? In federal, it's chronological. There's no page limit, 10 to 15 years, or whatever the job requires. Additional documents required. Additional documents. Veterans preference is required by law for federal. Now, on non-federal, it could be functional, which we have no dates, okay? Those are functional resumes. It could be 2 pages, 7 to 10 years. Other documents are required by the employer's request. What else is there? No veterans preference, okay? So no veterans preference. Let's see what else is on here. So with no veterans preference, you put on there you're a veteran and you're hoping they're going to hire you based off of your work ethic. You're bringing in those soft skills and those hard skills. Think about all those hard skills. Now, Ms. Sharon mentioned, we are so hardened by our training throughout our military career. I have really long nails, and that's what softened me after I separated. And now I'm all red. It makes me so exciting. My nail tech said I was boring. And then I go red and I'm like, okay, here it goes. It's been almost 2 years. I'm retired now. Okay, here it goes. 3 years now. What's next? Okay, now I'm trying on different hairstyles. So you can soften yourself out. You can bring that in. Let your hair grow. More men are growing their beards out because they couldn't for so long. Very soon, I know the Army is relaxing their dressing standards. Women are going to be allowed to wear earrings. They're going to allowed to not cut their hair, is not look like a female. They're going to have allowed to have nail color. So things are going to change, and maybe that will help the transition. Writing the resume. Make sure you're clear and you write clear and simple. Focus on quality rather than length. Outline your major work activities. The job posting is your, that's your tower. You take all commands from the tower. You're going to fill in the associated tasks with each activity. Integrate your accomplishments. And now a cover letter is optional in federal employment. So when you do federal employment, the hiring manager is going to see your federal resume and your cover letter. If you choose to use that in civilian employment, this is the one way that you can relax a little bit and tell them more about you and any projects that didn't fit in your resume and how you're a good fit for that company. So I'm going to show you a really cool website. I couldn't leave it out. Absolutely love it. So FASCLASS, maybe it could be used as an MOS conversion. So go ahead to your search engine. I'm going to use Google here, and you're going to type in FASCLASS. So FASCLASS has been used in a different term in the military to to make your ASVAB score faster. You go to a 5-day course to advance your score on your ASVAB. We're going to use that different here. So when you go into your search engine, you would go to put in specific information to get a specific answer. In FASCLASS, what I want you to do is put the least information in as possible. For this screenshot, I put in a specific series. You could go into the position title and put in business. You could put in supply. This one I put in 1101 because I know what 1101 is in the federal system. And this gave me 1101 gave me 2,123 different versions. Now, you don't have to log in. You do get the DoD banner saying, oh, you're accessing it, blah, blah, blah. Ooh. Now, sometimes the site goes down. It is a very large database. On the left-hand side, there's job numbers. Those are your hyperlinks, okay? When you're on the hyperlink here, you're going to see different examples. So this is one way you can promote yourself throughout your resume. If you know that this is a very close equivalent to what you did in the military, here's different ways you can rename yourself in the civilian sector. These are military equivalent federal employees that sit next to the green suiters. They're federal employees. GS is the pay plan that showed up on here. It does show up on different other pay plans. Don't worry about the region. But what you can do very easily is if they're all sort, you can hit it at the top here and sort it just like on Excel spreadsheet. So you can say I was a GS5 when I joined. Then I became a 7 because I got an associate's degree. And now I have a bachelor's degree. So the next thing is I'm going to be a GS9 and then an 11 and then a 12. Okay. So the next thing you're going to say is I am a GS5 part management specialist. I'm right here about 3/4 of the way down. So a GS11. So I'm going to say I'm a parts management specialist. The next thing I'm going to say is I am still a parts management specialist, but now I'm a maintenance material coordinator. But here I'm a corporate training specialist because I changed jobs. So throughout your military career, your job can change, but you don't have to be so stuck on your MOS. And this is a great way to translate. Now, if you click on one of these, some of them are junk, which says they were back in like 80s or the 90s. This one says it started in 69. So this top part it'll explain it to you, a maintenance material coordinator, GS 1109. And it's in Corpus. So it'll explain it to you. And this is if you had the job, this would be your position description. Now, this is what I want you to use, okay? Now, this will help you write your resume. Now, if you're applying to this specific job, I do not recommend you making a FASCLASS resume, okay? Do not make this the job your resume. This is going to help you develop your resume because if this is federal, the person you're applying to wrote this position description. That's like saying I'm applying to a job and I'm going to use only the job posting. This is to help develop your resume. Now, remember, there's 2,132 other versions to help you. So the knowledge required by this position is worth 950 points. It says you must have thorough knowledge of standard depot systems pertaining to maintenance parts. So you can take this and add it to your resume or take it out and make it to what you know. And 950 points of your job is this information. The next one's supervisory controls, which is only 275 points. And then there's different guidelines on what you need to do. So it's very helpful. And there's more. And then it goes on to different parts of it, managing and determining factors and researching and development. So you can hit all of those key words and different forms and who you work with by using FASCLASS and still have all that information. You're going to have so much information, you're going to have to take out what you already have. So it's a great resource. Now, that is a great way of how to get the information to build your resume. But now you need to quantify it. And how do we do that? Using SAR statements. Now, this is a system that I developed throughout the years to make it easier on how to build a SAR statement. So you'll hear different terms of STAR, SAR, or PAR. It's situation, action, and result. So the situation, a lot of the times, you already have on your resume. So you investigated discrepancies between bench stock records and location records. You already know that you've done that. But you need the green part. So if you have the situation, the action result is what the employer wants. So a lot of the times we'll already see the bullet on your resume. Reported erroneous quantities received or shipped condition code changes. Good job. Thank you. But the problem is we don't see the result or the impact. And if you're not getting interviews, it's because there's no action or results. So we need you to put more information in there. So how do you do that? So this is what I do, and this is how I teach SAR statements. So the red is your existing bullet from your resume. You investigated discrepancies between bench stock record item locations. The black is, well, where did you get the information? So who were you supporting? What were you doing? You know, where did you get it? So I know you investigated the discrepancies, but where did you get the information? You received information from GCSS computer program system. Oh, now that's a computer system, which is a system application processing, SAP. Woohoo! Big buzzword, everybody. Now, black is where you get the information from or your action. And I'm going to send out the strong action verbs to you. Now, what is the impact? But the blue right here, oops, my apologies. The blue is where you get it from FASCLASS. So blue is those disclosed by physical inventories, warehouse refusal, location changes, erroneous quantities received and shipped, condition code changes. I use FASCLASS to build this because I know I went in there and I put in supply and I was like, where do I get this information from? And then the green came from an NSOER. And now I have a beautiful SAR statement. So you investigated discrepancies between bench stock record item location records. You received the information from GCSS computer program systems, which disclose a physical inventory, warehouse refusal, location changes, erroneous quantities received or shipped, condition code changes, which was assembly or disassembly of items, saving 22% in a 3-month period. That is a SAR statement. And if you go back and you look at all of your bullets, they don't all have to be SAR statement, but you should have at least 4, okay? Now, adapting your resume. So there's some really cool websites on how to adapt your resume. So next, you adapt your resume by using a really cool website. There's 2 of them that I use. There's a whole bunch of them out there. You use JobScan. So you can log in, sign up. They send you an email every 5 days. So for about every 5 days, and you can get new scans. You can additional scans. I've never run out of scans. You get your own code. It's pretty awesome. So I love it. So, and it tells you what's missing. So you post your job, the job posting and your resume, and it gives you a match rate. So this one is a 22% match rate, and it gives you the applicant tracking findings, recruiters, skill match. It is really, really awesome. And then it'll tell you different tips, important high values. It'll tell you your job title. Your job title is so important, and veterans miss that. And like I said back in FASCLASS, you need to show the employer that you've been doing the job. Well, if you're transitioning out of the military, I don't know if I've done the job. Change your job title. It's okay. They don't know that you are what that MOS is. You can adapt it. You can change it. It's okay. So education match. And then it says date formatting. Please add the dates. This will be another check for yourself. Then it says the word count. So I kind of don't necessarily follow the word count. If you did 1,000, it's almost one page, one and a half page. I don't feel like I'm writing a paper, and I don't want to be all scared on the word page. That's an Australian thing that they use on here. So if you're trying for 100% and you want to be perfect, just use this as a guide. This is a tool. You don't have to stress yourself on this. Measurable results, super important. This one had 10 measurable results on it. Job level match. Are you applying to positions that are too high for you? Or do you have a position that you're just too entry level? Are you applying to 2 entry level positions and you're overqualified? I hate saying that. I don't care for it, but it is a thing. Words to avoid. Are you throwing in all those cliche words? Be careful with that. You may come across as cliche. Adapting your resume continued. This one shows that you did not have a high school diploma and it was required. This individual had a bachelor's degree and the position said minimum was a high school diploma. I know I stressed that earlier. I did not know that this was the one that would show that. This said health, mental health, education. There was some predicted skills it told you. I don't know. The MAT was a computer program. So you know what? I may not know that computer program, but I'm going to Google what that MAT is and come to find out it was the same system that the Army uses, but with a different term. So you can call it it was a human resource information system, HRIS, and comparable to the MAT program. Scheduling, presentation, peer support, acquisition, nonprofit. So throw those in there. Have you worked with that? And more, and it continues on. There's soft skills. We had mentioned that. Calm down. It's okay. You don't have to be so hard. And there's other keywords that you may have forgotten about or skipped. It's really cool. And then once you get yourself at a 60 to 80%, apply. Again, this is a really cool tool. Job recommendations. So it matches, this is in Indeed powered job matching. It shows you from your resume and your job description. I highly recommend you using Work in Texas. So if you see this, it's going to take you to Indeed. Some of them have been expired or filled already. It is a feeder website, but you can always come back to us and say, hey, is this a real job? Can you follow up on it? And we definitely will do that. Continuing on adapting your resume. This is a really cool website. Miss Gina has a video. If you look, I can send that to you. She did a Zoom video on it. It's Texas Skills to Work with the Texas Workforce Commission. It's pretty easy to use, very user friendly. So what we're going to do is you paste your resume right there where it says enter your skills. You throw that in there and boom, it's going to throw you different occupations that match it. Now, this is the one that I used was a SARN first class medical NCO. And boom, first line supervisors, managers, training development, social community service managers, human resource. So it gives you an idea of what you can do. And you know what? When you're transitioning or you have no idea what you want to do, it helps you find different occupation titles and then it can match you. So this is another way to translate your occupations. And then when you click on it, it takes you to job postings in Work in Texas. So cool. Different application tips. Make sure you understand the full application requirements. When does it close? Friday at 5 Friday at 4 and the job posting closes at midnight is not the right time to apply. Things happen for a reason. And maybe it wasn't a good fit for you. Find the correct announcement. We get so wrapped up in applying to 10, 15, 20 different jobs. Going back to what Chastity had said with Julia on the interview to promote this, you are going into a virtual job fair. You are applying to 10, 15, 30 different employers. Have that master resume right there for you. You need to know an occupation that you're applying for. Have that resume right there, that master. If you're human resources and you're supply and you don't know this and that, have that resume right there for you. Make sure it's the right resume that you've applied to. Did you already apply to that company? Are you following up with that? Is this your face-to-face? Make sure you answer all required employment questions. Follow the email that you are ready to, follow the email that you're about to receive for the next steps. You might be your own problem. Did they send it to you and you didn't follow up on it? Check your email. You know, there's something frustrating that when I have a veteran that hounds me for an appointment, and then when I get to it, we're all busy, and then they don't respond. Things happen. We understand that. How do you think the employer feels? Check your application status. Employer reviews your eligibility. They rank you. They may conduct additional assessments. Make sure you check your junk or spam folder. And as Chastity had said, make sure your email is professional. If you have like 3 or 4 digits of the same digit next to each other, please change that. If you have to explain your email to someone, change it. Applicants notified of selection or non-selection. Sometimes they don't do that. Again, there's a human factor that comes to this. This is your one and only opportunity. Make sure you take advantage of that. You have to prepare. I say it takes about 30 to 90 days to create a quality resume when you're working with a veteran career advisor. Once you're working individually with a veteran career advisor, you have that quality resume, and then you can case conference with someone like Chastity or Lori or anywhere within Miss Gina throughout the state. We can then say, hey, I know that this is a job ready veteran that can say, I know that they have the qualities, the hard skills, and they're interview ready, that we're finally handing you over to an employer that can say, you know what, they're ready to go. It's your marketing tool, your first and only impression. So when they see you on video, that's it. It communicates your qualifications, and you can provide immediate results, and it should be tailored to each job opportunity. When I say that, people are like, seriously, every single time? Once you have your master resume and you've created that shell, you're going to be able to tailor the body or the work history every single time. Once you've put the hard work in, it'll be a lot easier. In summary, employers recognize that veterans bring a wealth of knowledge and experience in your competencies. Preparation is the key. Please stay focused.
Thank you so much, Margaret. That was an incredible presentation. Really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you.